A few years ago, my phone used to buzz constantly. Group chats, plans, someone always texting about something. And now it's quiet, and I don't even have a big group anymore, just two to three friends I actually trust. I finally learned what a good friend actually looks like because I spent enough time around the wrong kinds and to know the difference. Friends who hugged me, friends who I trusted, who I'd have called if something went wrong at 2 a.m. And it took me way too long to understand. You don't have to be hated to be betrayed. Sometimes the people rooting against you are the ones clapping the loudest to your faces. I first realized this when I was a kid, in I think about grade 8, and I told my friend about a silly school crush. Just told her, the way you tell your closest friend anything. And somehow, without ever asking me, she made the first move. As we grew up, I forgot all about it, but her patterns remained the same. Just getting the exact shoes or clothes I picked out for myself before I did. I didn't have the words for it, but I just knew something felt off, like I'd been robbed off of something before I even got a hold of it. That friendship, well, it didn't last long. The second time I felt betrayed was years later. This one's the one that actually taught me something. She was someone that I studied with, and I'm the kind of person who just says things as they are. If I studied, I'll say I studied. If I didn't, I'll say that too. No performance about it. But she wasn't like that. If she'd studied for 3 days straight, she'd tell you she hadn't even opened the book. Every single time. And I believed her until I started noticing the pattern. Now I'm all in for people who say keep things private, but the intent behind keeping things private is what matters to me the most. She wasn't being honest. She needed me to think she was behind. Because if I thought she was behind, I wouldn't try harder. I wouldn't push. I'd stay comfortable right where I was, thinking I'm not alone in this. That's not humility, that's strategy, and it's one of the quickest forms of sabotage there is. Someone shrinking themselves just so you could shrink too. The third one is the one that hurt me the most because I didn't see it coming and I got blamed for it. We were in the same class in my bachelor's and we were benchmates, close for about a year. And even then, there was this thing that she'd do. She had a way of making me feel less. If I cracked a joke, she'd tell me I was stupid. If I dressed up and other friends complimented me, she'd just look at me, up and down, and look away. No words. If I performed good in class, like better than her, her face would completely go off. I brushed it off at that time. I didn't clock it as anything. Then I started making other friends who'd come to my desk and talk to me. I was not leaving her side. I just happened to make friends, and she too had friends, by the way, whom I didn't feel comfortable with, and I used to just mind my own business when they talked. She couldn't handle me having other friends. She went quiet, not let's talk about it quiet, just gone. Wouldn't respond properly, wouldn't explain, just shut the door. She started to suck my energy every time I tried to talk to her because I was the only one trying. I talked to her about it too, and she wouldn't respond properly. Then I heard that she told her friends that I left her because I had new friends now. And to everyone else, it looked like I had abandoned her. That's the part that actually stings because I was the one who got the blame for something she did to herself. Three different people and three completely different situations. But underneath, they were doing the exact same thing. They were hiding. They were hiding pieces of themselves from me, what they wanted, what they were doing, how they actually felt, while still standing close enough to call it friendship. That's the real tell. It's not whether someone's nice to you, it's whether they let you see them clearly. The ones who can't do that, they're not your enemies. They're just people who needed you to stay exactly where you are so they could feel okay about where they are standing. I'm not friends with any of them anymore. But having said that, not everyone is like that. Some people will make you feel more like yourself. not less. When you find them, hold on to them tightly and dearly. And the ones who aren't, you usually know, but you stick around because you're scared to be alone. Some feeling in your gut knows before you have the words for it. Trust that. You don't need a final straw. You already know how it ends. Let them go before it gets there. If you're going through something similar, please let me know. Hope this helped. Thank you for watching.